Good morning, everybody! Happy Friday!
Happy Divine Throat Chakra Day. Blue is the color of the day, and welcome.
We love you all. We welcome everybody. This is 5D, full disclosure, heaven on earth. We are the morning Ascension gathering. We are the First Contact Ground Crew team. I'm Buddha.
I'm Jerry Pie.
And we love you. Welcome.
How's everyone feeling?
How are you feeling?
It's the same spiel every morning. Please participate. Say how it's been. How's the weather? How's the heart? Is it open? Is it closed? Is it walled up? These are the very energetics that we are dealing with within the fractal, and therefore that is having a trickle out effect to all of you. Mm-hmm. There's been major deep wounds come up, and it's just the way it is. Nothing to take personally, nothing to blame anyone about. We're all responsible for our own shit, and that is why we are here sharing as authentically as we have been trained to do. Yeah. We have a very special guest today. I'm so excited.
Yeah, something new we've never done before. We have a special guest this morning, and we're so honored. You know, everything is falling into place. The right people are connecting, who are all on the same ascension path. You know, we're all recognizing the work that we're doing here. And as we mentioned, you know, this is the grandest gathering. This is how we move forward. Is we have to come together in these times, and this will alleviate the pressure. This will allow the process to flow. This will be a grand remembrance of ancient, you know, spiritual family. We've been doing this for a long time, guys, and so it's really nice now to see so many people from all across the planet coming together in these moments to really push this forward. You know, it's really going to take some work, but if you are in your heart, this service is joyful. This service is exciting. There's never a dull moment. There's always something going on. There's always something to do. So we're just really excited to have our guest here today. His name is Asil. Before we bring him in, we also have a short video on some of the work he's doing. But of course, we always like to share one of Mom's videos to kind of set the tone for the stream. And so we'll go ahead and cue that up.
So this was broadcasted on March the 3rd, 2013. Going back 8 years, you are your final test.
A message from the Earth Allies. Surprise! All of humanity are royal angels. Each of you are remembering you are, in truth, royal angels, and the children of Father and Mother God. We have come to planet Earth to give you your diplomas as fully conscious beings of light, equal God, equal love. Your graduation, which is a party of 7.0 billion plus, is just beginning. Are you ready? You are in truth royal angels. You were created from Father God and I, and you are our children. This makes you God equally so. Some of you have some very big issues with this truth, and the issues do not come from the core of your being, your souls, because your souls know and understand this truth exactly. It comes from the conditioning and lies you were led to believe while you've been here on this earth plane, which in turn has caused deep unworthiness and war, conflict. You are your final test. Once you remember you remember us exactly. And we are just the party. You only have one set of Father God and I, one set of divine parents. And we are here on this planet Earth with you. There are so many of you now recognizing this truth. The lights are coming on, so to speak, and this remembering is very, very big for humanity, Mother Earth, and all throughout creation. We are truly one family of light. This recognition of who you truly are has been long awaited. This is for sure. Now, we are all moving together up an octave, and it's a big octave, and it's a major shift. And transmission in all love is unconditionally love the Earth allies.
Yay. Short and sweet, Mama. Thank you for the re-heart. Whew.
These are your final test, humanity. Can you pierce through the veil? Can you fully feel into what is coming to this planet? It's already here. It's already been done. Love has won. Victory to the light. Are you willing to step up and finish that final test? That one that breaks you through. It's like you've been in your cocoon long enough now, and it's time to pop out and spread those wings and share with humanity how beautiful you really are. And that's exciting, because the fact of the matter is, yes, we all are gods. We all have Christ consciousness coming through, and you are a major role player, straight up. No other way to look at it, but you are significant, you matter. What you say, how you feel, what you do plays a role and reverberates to all of humanity. Because there's a oneness, there's a connectivity. I am you. I'm just an expression of you. We are all one. And it's grand. It's grand to know that you are an angel. It's grand to know that your purpose is coming into fruition, that you're recognizing how important you really are. And that work that you've been doing, all the training you've been going through, has led you up to these very moments. So we honor you, we love you, and we're grateful for all of humanity standing up in these moments.
Yes.
Shining their light.
So welcome, Linda. Welcome, Jana, Orgoth, Penny, Taylor, Claudia, Robert, Marcel, Dea, Marcel again, Missy, Mikey, Nairi, and on Telegram, Christine, Kiwarmi, Tiger Paw, Jared, Lars, and on YouTube, David and Jen. Welcome. We love you. Should we bring in our special guest?
Yeah, let's do that. Should we show the video of his?
Sure.
So they know.
Yeah. So we
Awesome.
mentioned that Asil Toksal is our very beautiful brother, soul brother, and he is connected with Ascension 1. He does have his own website, asiltoksal.com, and we wanted to play an introduction of one of the avenues of work that he does for the betterment of humanity. So let's have a look.
Every country has many sacred sites. And all of these sacred sites carry beauty, magic, and power. These sacred places around the world establish a network, a grid, an energetic infrastructure that supports human consciousness. I'm guided to go with a group of individuals that have dedicated their lives to the evolution of consciousness, to the evolution of humanity. And it is now time to reveal all the discoveries that we have made and to take you on all journeys that are coming. This increased energy is required to flow evenly and harmoniously to every region of this world. As the energy flows and everyone receives the energy that is moving through this plane, we will evolve together as humanity. this July and August, we will be going to Guatemala and Costa Rica, some of the most remote places on Earth, some of the most significant power spots in Latin America are going to be accessible for us. And we will take you on this journey with us. You will receive exclusive footage, live streams, channelings, communication with spirit beings, information of archaeological background, and the perspective of Mayan elders. It will be adventure-packed and full of magic. We would love to have you on this journey with us, to share the experiences that we witness at these power places of this earth.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Hello, brother.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are
So
ya?
good to see you guys.
Yes.
I am good. It's a beautiful humid morning here in Nosara, Costa Rica. And I was just having a beautiful encounter with the howler monkeys that are having a good time this morning. It's, also like in the middle of the jungle, so internet can be a little spotty from time to time. We're gonna have to navigate some of these three-dimensional things.
Right.
But it's so good to see you guys. Wow, what a beautiful setup you guys have. What a beautiful message that was this morning.
Yes.
And the energy that you bring, it's just wow. Like, yeah, we've done this before. Like, I
Right.
recognize you.
I mean, I was really nervous. I'm like, but I'm nervous. I'm like, it's a very big kind of block for me, technology. But Buddha just like has it all, so it's okay. I can focus on the conversation. I can focus on the heartfelt connection, and I'm sure that everyone tuning in is super excited to hear about the work that you do and who you are and your role here, because Mom has set it up so that the givers would gather in these moments when our attunement to the frequencies of love were in alignment with each other. Like, this wouldn't be happening had we not done the inner work for Ruby to find us and then connect us with you. So we're super grateful. Thank you, Ruby, for the connection, and thank you, Asil, for being here. So, question time.
Thank you.
We have actually a few of the photos that you had shared with us of your expeditions, and we'd love to hear about what you're doing right now in Costa Rica and what you did in Guatemala.
Yes.
Because I know that the photos were from Guatemala, and you just flown over, finished that retreat to this one now.
Mm-hmm.
So just
That's right.
give us an update.
Yeah, so basically, in a nutshell, as a nonprofit organization serving humanity, our work is basically in two areas. One is supporting the individual, the human that is an eternal soul, coming to recognition that it is an eternal soul, coming to recognition of its power, coming to recognition that we are one and we are in an important and critical evolutionary state. So that's one aspect. How do we get as many people into this awakening and this ascension process? And the second part is preparing this world, Mother Gaia, the energy lines, the sacred places, the places of trauma where dense energies are still remaining. how do we prepare this earth for this ascension process, for humanity's awakening? And those two things keep us busy. And we're, globally, we're like thousands of people that are dedicated to this work, that understand this is our mission. We are here to support humanity in this process, just the way you guys have already recognized that. And this is a lifelong mission that we have agreed many, many lifetimes ago, thousands of years ago, to fulfill when the time has come. And as you know, the time has come.
Right?
A brilliant symphony of divine timing. We've pulling up a photo with a sacred site. We'd love for you to share what is happening, or what happened here, and where it is in the world.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's so fascinating. Like, for me to go to these sacred places that I would have, as a 3D human, probably rarely would have experienced it if I wouldn't have got the guidance to go to these places. So this is Tikal, and Tikal is one of the major cities of the Mayans at the time, at the height of Mayan ancient civilization. And there are multiple temple complexes, and in these multiple temple complexes, there are specific spots that are energetically really charged. So I would go into a trance state, I would go into embodiment, and then I would have the guides lead me to some of these really powerful spots. And then I would sit down, and there would be a channeling that would come through, just the way right now. There would be a channeling that would come through, and all kinds of interesting things would happen. We would do some sort of like an energetic adjustment on the spot there. That is on the grid, on the energetic grid of the earth. The Mayans kind of knew. They were like super tuned in. They were dialed in. And of course, the Maya is a very long period, from almost 2000 BC to all the way to 900 or 1500 AD. So they were really dialed in. At different times, they were more dialed in than at other times, right? So Tikal goes back way, way, way BC. And so when I go into these places, there's some adjustments, energetic adjustments that the guides do to the sacred site, so that it can be fully activated again, that the energies really move through that sacred site and impact the whole region. What we ultimately want to do is we want to increase the vibration of the region. And what is better to use than the existing energy lines, the grid that already is there, right? And sometimes when we do this work, spirits of the local area start to come to us. So in that previous picture that you saw, we had a spirit that came and wanted to speak, and he called himself the father of the forest. And he was basically trying to explain to us his role that he played in humanity's evolution, and the role that he will continue to play, the importance of humanity's connection to nature and to Mother Earth. And there is, of course, we can talk about this all day long as humans, but when you hear it from a spirit that's been for thousands of years the father of the forest, right? It's just a whole, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it, right? It's just like, it's a whole thing. We had, hundreds of people that listened to it. They're just like, they would write like, I'm in tears just listening to this message. It really touched me so deeply. There's nothing like a transmission from an elemental that's been in service to humanity for so long, that built a relationship, a bond, and then at some point humanity lost its touch with nature, lost its touch with the spirit world, kind of became more 3D, denser,
Mm-hmm.
and we got into this whole society game, of trying to, I guess, learn again what it means to be human.
Yeah.
And they're just patiently watching. Some of them are sad,
Oh.
and some of them are frustrated with us, and some of them are, you know, unconditionally, lovingly, compassionately watching until we are ready again to go into these places of communication.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful. Wow. We wanted to just go through 2 more photos with you, and I know that this is, I'm
Yay.
not sure whether this is the same sacred site, Toksal.
Um, I think that could have been Ushaktun, which was also an ancient city. There was a couple of cities that were super powerful, and at times there would like be 300 to 500,000 people would live at these sites. They were like big cities, imagine,
Wow.
at
Yeah.
that time. And they were thriving cities. It was like the Rome of ancient times. There was like lots of trade routes from the north and the south, and there were like kings, and they would. And what's interesting is, like, in my channelings, what came through is that was where humanity built the first time its proper relationship and bridge to Orion and the star beings of Orion.
Yeah.
And you can see that
Cool.
the Mayans have established these like 3 temple complexes or 3 pyramid complexes. They call them triad pyramids,
Mm-hmm.
and they were in honoring, trying to reflect Orion's belt in their complexes.
Right.
And the
That's.
ancient Mayans thought the nebula behind Orion's belt was the source of all creation.
Mm-hmm.
So when they start to receive all these messages, for them it was like receiving it from source.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, they were like incredible mathematicians. They were incredible astronomers, and they had a complex script and writing system. They were just genius. It
Right.
was phenomenal. Yeah,
I mean, we've kind of gone
mind blow.
backwards from there.
Yeah.
Totally, totally, totally. And at some point, what was interesting is they lost touch. They lost connection with those higher realms. And when they lost connection, interesting what happened. As humanity, they were still holding on to the power that they were holding. They were holding on to, how do we as kings and royalty stay in power? And it became a power battle when they started to lose the connection, and they started to establish all these like, strange rituals like blood sacrifices and all kinds of things that were not of the highest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-mm.
they were now connecting to spirits of lower planes to
Mm-hmm.
keep their power position. And that's already like a moment in Mayan history where they were losing their path a little bit to go backwards. It was so incredibly fascinating. I can tell you like hours and hours and hours of stories, including
Yes.
meeting a dragon being in a place called Kumarka. Yeah, I have a
Wow, I
strong
want to hear
Oh.
connection
about
with
that one.
dragons. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, buckle up for this one. So the Kekekchi, it's a ethnic group of the Mayans, a specific faction of the Mayan groups, and they were later in the game. They were connecting with a being that they call the feathered serpent or flying serpent, and in its local language, they would call him Kukumats. And what's interesting is much later, the Aztec called him Quetzalcoatl.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a kind of a known name. So when we got there, I never know what's going to happen, right? So we are just led to go there and then sit down into channeling and embodiment and watch what happens. So the guides that I connect with are Elohim, and then sometimes it's Raphael or Michael, angelic guides that do some of the heavier duty work when when we have like not so benevolent things going on. But this operation was like activating this portal in that temple for the flying serpent in Kumarka. And once the portal was activated, I could see in the center of the plaza, energetically, something was opening up, like a doorway was opening up. And this being rose out of it. And it was like this incredible, like really strong energy. And it wanted to embody me. So my guides allowed the embodiment to happen. So they're like intermediaries. They make sure that nothing, non-benevolent embodies me. And it embodied me. It was so strong, it knocked me out. Like I was literally flat on the ground.
Whoa.
And my team was a little concerned. They're like, "Are you okay? Are you?" I was just like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." It looks like I'm having like a epileptic seizure or something. And then it started to speak with this, dragons have this reverent, this almost like royal presence, such calm but powerful energy. There's a vastness about them. And he was speaking how he had built this relationship and that over time he went dormant because waiting for the energies on this earthly plane to rise again. So when we activated this site, he basically said the time for his kind to be reactivated into service to humanity, for humanity's evolution and ascension process, has come again. And he was saying his kind because there is many of him, his kind, around the world, especially at volcanoes and like ancient temples, Balinese temples, Tibetan temples, you name it,
God.
right?
That's so cool.
I mean, these are what dreams are made of. The fairy tales, the movies, like it's like, give it, come on, let's go, humanity, let's ride these.
Let's ride some dragons, man.
Like, yeah. Mom loved dragons. Like she is the red dragon. Like this is so exciting. Like she had dragon energy come through, and this was a lot of powerful, no missing energy, and it intimidated a lot of beings. It's like, nope. Get into right action, atoms. And it was like, no messing. But at the same time,
they
it
are
wasn't
like
anger, it's a passion.
Yeah, they are not messing around. Like they're very firm.
Yes.
It's almost like a stern uncle. The energy of a stern uncle, right? He'll give you the truth. And it's like, and it's really interesting. All the other spirits, like, spirits of elementals, nature spirits, everything lines up. The moment the dragon comes into play, into like its presence and wants to speak, like all of them listen. Everything quiets down.
Yep.
It's amazing. Yeah, and Katharina, I totally get it. I feel the energy here present with us as well.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. I just wanted to read a few comments here. We have Christelle Caputo on YouTube, and I feel she was with you in that first expedition, the first pyramid you went to, where Jose Antonio took his first step to walk up and slip. Our first blooper, haha. then
That's
is that a
right.
she? Is Christelle a she?
Crystal is a she. She's actually one of the founding members of our organization, and she's a close friend,
Beautiful.
has been on the journey with me forever.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
welcome, Crystal.
Welcome.
she's also the incredible main brain of like making a lot of things happen. Because if
Mm-hmm.
it was just up to me, I would probably drive the ship into the cliff or drive the car off the cliff. But Crystal really is so connected to spirit and incredibly versatile in the 3D world. So yeah, she's a key element in our lives.
Beautiful. And she said, we'll probably meet a few here in Costa Rica, meaning the dragons. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, like Costa Rica has come up for us as a sink. Like, mom is planting the seeds. Like, Costa Rica is definitely a destination for this fractal at some point. But this is a beautiful sink. Heather Hendricks said, last night I wrote in my journal, Red Dragon, open the door, dark to light.
Wow.
Mm.
Awesome. And so David says, he's giving me goosebumps, meaning light ups, body light ups. You know, when you know the truth, you feel it in your body and it's going boom, 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 and you're like, ah!
Yes.
Truth bumps.
Truth
Yep.
bumps. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's amazing. I mean, we are so honored to have you share these stories. Mom has shared many stories about opening portals. You know, there was a trip to Hawaii last year where the Galactus commanded her to go to Hawaii. And you know, I don't know whether you know a lot about mom's journey, but in the last 3 years she was bedridden. Like there was no way she wanted to go to Hawaii in the state that she was in. And it took her a moment. They were like, nope, you're going. And it was on Robin Williams' birthday or death anniversary or something. And Robin Williams was one of her ambassadors with Saint Germain. So they said, no, you have to go. And when she did, she found the portal to Atlantis had opened up and there were still beings in there, dark beings that she had to then fight off again. Like just like close it.
Do you know
close
which
it,
island she
dissolve
went
it.
to?
Yeah, we were in Kauai.
Okay. Yeah, one of my most significant experiences on my journey was actually in Kauai. One of my main initiations with my guides was on the summit of Waialeale in Kauai. What an incredible place.
Yeah.
Right, because it has the Lemurian, that was the last geographical location of Lemuria, and that is where it got hijacked. It got totally like just flooded with dark energies, and the Kauaians, they're so asleep, and mom is great spirit, mom is Pele, and it just triggered them so much to the point where they drove her off the island. That is how deep in it their consciousness was, to be so disconnected with their connection to great spirit. So it was an interesting time for her. Definitely not one of her favorite spots. She kind of said, well, you have karma coming, and so we quietly watch Kauai, like, oh, there's a volcano erupting, oh, there's a flood. It's like, well, you're gonna get it. You're too dense. You're not coming to New Earth.
Yeah, it's really fascinating what's going on, right? Like all these changes that we are witnessing in society as well as on the earthly plane. I think there is a rising of intensity or like just increase of energy, like cosmological changes. We have Lionsgate coming up. Like we're gonna feel it. I don't know how it is for you guys, but every full moon, every new moon is getting more intense for me. And I don't know, it's just me. I think it's like the full moons are just getting more intense. The new moons are getting more intense. Cosmological adjustments, like you'll see Sunday, Lionsgate is going to be super intense.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Now,
Huge. I mean, we're like
yeah.
building up to it, and we're already feeling the squeeze. We're feeling the pressure cooker, and like, and how the fractal is that we represent the collective. So whatever unconsciousness isn't processed, deep traumas, we enact it like a play. Like, it's just trippy because like we obviously are connected with each other, and therefore like these intense energies, things have to pop. Things have to be looked at, to be processed, to be shown. The dark needs to see the light. And yeah, for sure these portal dates. I mean, Mom has always, I mean, it's Buddha can share what mission has been like on an 8/8 portal. It is not pretty.
Yeah, it's always been very intense, and we've been sharing it and letting everyone know to do the spiritual work, to get involved in the process. I feel a lot of light workers get caught up in the super ego or the spiritual ego, where they feel they're getting things done, but they're still in separation. They're not necessarily reaching out, connecting, bridging the gaps.
Yeah.
And that's why this is so
Yeah.
significant for us to be able to breach this gap. I mean, all across the country, all across the globe, we have people, forming groups all over the planet, Australia, South
Amazing.
Africa, all over the UK, Canada. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible how this divine plan is unfolding. And these critical connections are so important, to connect the dots as we move forward, as we roll out the Crystal School program, as we roll out the transitional government program. All of this is part of it. So just beautifully synchronistic when Lucy hit us up, and it all just kind of like, it's like, we know this is a higher guidance. We know that this was divinely orchestrated, and it was just a matter of surrendering, allowing, and enjoying the process.
Incredible.
Wanted to share Vinayak's comment here. This is such a beautiful and powerful presentation from both Asil and Crystal. I'm feeling so grateful for this amazing journey and sharing today. And David says, oh, yeah, I'm feeling the squeeze. And then Dea.
Yeah.
Just one more. Dea says, also, the beauty of these sacred site missions is that now we can join from our homes and be on the journey with Ascension 1 AOC team. The energies are so strong that when you open up to them, you can anchor them in your space also.
Yeah.
Alice says, I feel it.
And that's the beauty of the multidimensionality, the fact that we know time is not linear. It's all working in the present moment of now, and we can use the technology to literally teleport us or into these moments together. And what has happened, of course, is these light workers, as they're waking up, they tend to go into the whole lower dynamic of the technology, the 5G, the this, the that. And what I always reheart people is that your vessel is so much more advanced than any laptop, any cell phone, any Wi-Fi tower, any 5G tower. That when you are in the vibration of love, all these lower frequencies can't match you. They can't do anything to harm you because you are that much in your own vibration that is much higher than any of this other technology.
That's so right. Thank you, brother, for saying that. How many times participants have asked about, the impact of 5G or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth on, on ourselves in like so many sessions. And, let me tell you this, it's like, as long as you continue to strive to operate at a higher frequency, then you're going to be fine. Just continue to strive to operate at a higher frequency.
That's
And
it.
you'll know that the frequency of love and the frequency of source will take care of you. Like,
Yep.
it's really about increasing your frequency. And as you said, it's like there is nothing higher than the frequency of love.
Yep.
That's absolutely true. Asil, I know that you do a lot of work channeling the Elohim. It's a very special group
Mm-hmm.
of beings that I personally don't know a lot about. Like Mom talks about the
Mm-hmm.
elementals and earth beings and many, many more beautiful
Mm-hmm.
benevolent beings here right now assisting us.
Mm-hmm.
Please share some of the messages that they have for the collective.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey for me to work with the angelic realms because I come originally, my work started definitely with elementals and nature spirits and like shamanic traditions, Native American traditions. And then suddenly I was opening up to these angelic realms and having messages from beings that were just, to me at that time, myth and legend, like stories that humanity had created. And I was like, is this really happening or am I just losing my mind? So I'm sure you guys have had moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the amazing thing was they were having a conversation like you and I are having, and they were just so present and so loving and continuously compassionate and very consistent. They said what they're going to do and they actually delivered it. And it was the consistency that built up more and more trust for me. And their work has always been completely unconditional. They delivered no matter what, no matter where the person was coming from, no matter what they had done, wherever they were in their lives, they would receive the benefits of their presence. And the Elohim is basically a collective consciousness. The collective consciousness, um, they say they have been architects of this plane, and they put a lot of the structures into place in which we are operating. So the whole aspect of, oh, we're going to have a body and human consciousness is going to embody in the human forms and is going to experience this beautiful life, and then is going to learn as a consciousness and is going to grow as a consciousness until the time has come for the human consciousness to move onwards to a new plane of existence, alongside with the earth. So what's interesting is they're saying now they're back to support and intervene in this
Mm-hmm.
human process where the individual is the key, right? We are the key to the evolution of humanity. And it starts with us. And as you said, some of that stuff is going to be hard work, right? Looking at our shadows and dealing with the internal dynamics that we have, the conditioning of previous generations, the conditioning of society, all of that stuff has to be looked at with compassion and with love inside. Only when I have self compassion, self love, then I can really have love and compassion for others, truly unconditionally.
Yep.
So, this is some of their direction and some of their messages. We have, of course, hundreds of hours of messages from the Elohim, and
Yeah.
there is regular, open sessions for the general public to join. We have open session for Lionsgate that we're going to be doing with a group called Stargate. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Stargate experience. They're amazing individuals. Um, we're going to be delivering a Stargate special,
Uh,
um, and I can share
Beautiful.
the link with you for that.
Yes.
Amazing. Yes, please. Yeah, so that's really a beautiful message from the angelic realm. We mentioned yesterday when we spoke to and met you for the first time that after the etheric surgery, we have an option of doing an angel chip activation. And you speak of us being the key to this ascension process. Now, it's a very big leap coming away from this duality of separation into this knowing that we are the royal angels, we are galactic beings, we are first contact. Mom spoke about it the other day through one of her videos, that first contact is literally contact with your higher self. It's not something that's outside of yourself. And so a lot of the Q movement, a lot of this full disclosure is all about like the aliens, decloaking of ships. And it's really about the decloaking of your higher self. Mm-hmm. And this is a very big jump, because we are the bridge. We are filling that gap within that leap into that higher consciousness state. And Mom is our role is that, okay, so now what does this embodiment feel like? Mm-hmm. Why am I getting those lights when I close my eyelids? Like, what message is that? And we are the first to bring the etheric down to the physicality, because this ascension is all about bringing the physical vessel in some form towards eternal life. And that's kind of, you gotta go through those layers of, well, we die, we have illness, we and it's like, no. No, we, divine plan runs this show, not your ego, not your belief systems, not your control over what ascension looks like. Could you just share in your own words, because obviously you hold codes for beings that we can't activate, so it's all about like another being's perspective of where that realm is merging into ours.
Yeah, so it's really interesting to me to hear the perspective of the angelic realms on our evolution and on our ascension process, because they do refer a lot to the self-realization journey. So they do a lot, basically our awakening to who we are is a key element of the self-realization journey, is a key element of the ascension process. And how do we get to know ourselves better in the totality of who we are? Not just as an individual, but in the totality of who we are as existence, as humanity, as human consciousness, as well as our role and position in all of existence, right? So we're both separate and unity at the same time.
Yep.
And it's like people are like, well, that's a paradox. Like, how can you like agree to both? I'm like, yes, you can. It's like, how do we hold that paradox at the same time? And that's where the magic is. This is where the expansion of consciousness comes into play, right? You hold both truths in both of your hands, and in your body, you embody that truth.
Correct. It is about like, it's kind of a prerequisite to make it to mission and have lost your mind. That is, we're called the crazies for a reason, and that is like, Mom's like, cool, call me crazy, I don't care, are you coming or not? Like, universal law is like not attached. All the children come home. You either come home now or later, like, it's your choice. Divine will needs to come through the physical vessel in order for us to surrender to this process of embodiment.
I love it. I love it. Well, she really seems like she was a blessing, and she is a blessing. She continues to support you guys and humanity for the messages that she has left behind and the messages that she continues to deliver. And I'm really happy to hear that there are groups and communities like yourselves in this world. And it's fills my heart with joy to reconnect with you guys
Yes.
in this iteration, in this cycle, and like, yeah, let's bring the band back together.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like we don't like to get ahead of the timeline, but like we were talking about Costa Rica, it's like pina colada, sacred size. Like, I mean, this is my dream come true. I mean, mom is the giver of dreams, and when you do the work, you get the blessings, the magical synchronicities, and heaven on earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple.
That's
But
right.
you have to take that leap. You have to look at your attachments. You have to look at your fear-based programming to say, well, why am I still in this job? What is my passion?
Mm.
Like, there's so many questions that they haven't even begun to get to know the essence of who they are. And that's a big gap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is an important gap we're bridging right now, and we always talk about finding that childlike wonder, finding that joy again, and really a lot of this will begin to manifest through play, through just going outside and kicking the ball around, doing things you enjoy doing as a child, but you forgot to do, or you had to stop doing them because you had to grow up, and this really opens up the doorway for everyone to be like, you know what, I can be a little more compassionate, I can be a little more forgiving, because we're all coming from a traumatic state. We've all had to maneuver through this dysfunction, and recognize that we took it on, but it's not who we are. It's not our true essence. Our true essence is love, is unity, is the family dynamic of just supporting one another. And as we know, it's been stripped away from us. From for thousands of years now, they've been degrading the family unit. And a time has come now, with this whole pandemic, and everyone is just like either choosing fear or choosing to stand up and say, no, I will not wear a face diaper, to try to create more fear.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like one of the things that the guides continuously share is like, it's not about which challenges are you facing outside. It's about how you act and react to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you in the face of challenge? Like, how do you perceive your fears and how do you act and react? And observe what is being triggered within you rather than just, diving into it and feeding that fear or fueling the emotions of challenge. So, in that sense, honestly, like, I have incredible compassion for everyone that has been suffering, has been impacted by, pandemic. But I also see the pandemic as an incredible wake-up call, an incredible opportunity for us as humanity to awaken. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you could not have a better opportunity to go into a spiritual retreat that was provided to you by this reality. It's like, here you go. This is a
Yeah,
wake-up opportunity.
absolutely. It
Mm-hmm.
was like out of all of the divine plan A, B, C to Z, this was, it's like, okay, so how do we make something of a shit show? Like, it has been a shit show. Humanity
Exactly.
wasn't waking up. This 21st December 2012 came and went for the very reason that, okay, no, this didn't go down well, like, let's do it again. Now we come into 2021, coming into the divine feminine energies of 2022, like, it has to pop. It's like, how many beings are awake enough to hold Mother Gaia's light grid secure?
Mm-hmm.
And the very truth that Mom has ascended this year, it's like, okay, here we go. The show is on. We're coming home into the light. Gather each other, support one another. It is not a competition. Everyone is relevant, and everyone's part is important. So I wanted to share Crystal's comment. By the way, 8/8 is Asil's Elohim anniversary. Last year we were doing a public Lionsgate transmission, and instead of Raphael embodying the Elohim, suddenly came through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal and a big surprise for everyone.
I bet.
Right? Did
I
it
was
knock
like,
you out like the dragon?
no, but it was really, really intense. And, you know, the folks, these these amazing individuals that I work with Stargate, they hold such a strong field that I could actually sustain being connected to Elohim and delivering that transmission continuously without being knocked out. Because the collective field makes a huge difference, right? As you can
Mhm.
imagine.
Mhm.
So for Lionsgate, we're going to have thousands of people in collective and collaborative meditation, and the energetic field is going to be so strong. So the Elohim's delivery, when and the field that we establish together is in strong, then there is a greater potential for love. There is a greater potential for transformation.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It is. It's such, I mean, I don't feel people out there actually realize how difficult it is to channel one being, let alone a group of like
Mhm. Collective
angel
council,
guys.
yeah.
Like we're, I'm just like, wow. And I know that like within this training that Mama's trained us with, we feel energy, we feel it through the live stream. So there's a lot of collective unconsciousness that comes through. It starts to spin us. It starts to do this thing, and we need to be solid within our energetic, like cutting cords and everything. But like, it's
Yeah.
powerful. These energies are
Mm-hmm.
powerful, especially
Mm-hmm.
now that we are in this part of the multiverse where we're heading through these portals. Like, it's not serious, but it's urgent. It's really urgent that everyone take their role. Like, you are worthy of all of this. If you are not honoring your contract in these moments where you're just passively listening to the messages that we are sharing, get out of the way. Like, now is the time to be inspired by the words that you share, by this possibility that we can also have that connection to the angelic realm. We already do, but more so, like, more anchored in, more embodied, more solid, because doubt always comes in. It's like, well, that I just made that up. Like, that was me. And so then you do this dance between ego and the heart. It's like, no, stay
Mm.
empty in your vessel, stay in the heart.
Yeah.
But that's very difficult, because how can you stay in the heart when you've never actually felt your heart? So
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And it's like, you know, I don't see myself as an achieved master or teacher or guru or anything like that. I don't think I'm better than you. I don't think I'm better than any of the participants that are joining our courses and meditations. It's just, I guess, if any credit I can take is I just take one step at a time and I move forward and I don't let the challenges take me down or keep me away from continuously wanting to evolve, continuously wanting to go deeper into the truth of my being. And some of the things that I have to look at within myself are hard things to look at, you know, like layers of shame or guilt or childhood traumas or my ancestry, you know, like my lineage that I come from. Like, look at the things that they brought into the world and ask for forgiveness and ask for compassion. You know, it's a human journey after all, no matter how spiritual it is.
mhm. Beautiful.
So thank you for keeping it real, guys. I really love that about you. That it's not just like, hey, let's hold hands and sing kumbaya. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's fun too, but yeah, we got, you gotta, like you said, keep it real, and there is an integration of both the dark and the light, and a lot of it can be done through humor, through laughing at yourself. And this was just a really big moment for us too, to have you as a guest, to share your side of your work, and how it all works together, how it all is one big beautiful weave of love and harmony, and bringing it all back for humanity. So we're so grateful. We honor your work, and it's just the beginning. I feel like, this is a
Yes.
long lost, spirit family member. We've been doing this for a long time. I have a feeling we'll be seeing each other again. We'll be definitely working together more as we push this forward.
And definitely meeting in the physicality is just, it's done. It's happened already too.
Yes.
Asil, we have a question here
Yes.
from Heather. Can we do a mass meditation that we can all sync up to on 8/8? Like, I know that are you doing a meditation broadcast?
Yes, I just shared the link with Buddha. Yeah. So we have one that we're broadcasting. There's going to be thousands of people on it. And the exact details here, let me just double check myself.
Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch before the 8/8 anyway, and we will make sure that everyone has access to the links, and then they can have a look at what they would like to join in, and it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna be live transmitting from here in Costa Rica, where the energy is really off the charts, which is amazing. And we have, a big retreat here. So anyone who wants to continue from like the Lionsgate portal transmission, it continues for another 5 days. So we go deeper in all of the aspects of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual body adjustments, alignments, upgrades.
Wow.
So it's going to be, I'm just super excited. I feel like this is
feel it.
This is the new evolution.
Yep.
I would say the one word that pops up is intense. If it could scratch the surface of what's coming.
Yay! Hey, I love intensity. I feel like, let's embrace it. Let's, let's take it all in, right? The world is beautiful, and if we can ride these waves of increased energy and the beautiful intensity that comes to the cosmos into this world, like, let's ride the waves. Right? Rather than be smashed by the waves, let's ride the waves together.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's the
Asil.
ticket.
It's like, damn, it's like, what just happened today? That was intense. Like, ooh, let's just find another word. Like,
Exactly.
Asil, do you have, before we wrap up, any last words of wisdom for the gathering today?
I just want to say, first of all, I'm incredibly grateful for what you guys stand for, what you deliver, how you support everyone that is around you. And you have my 100% devotion and 100% allyship to support you on your mission. Like, we are now bonded. We're now in support of each other's missions.
Absolutely.
And whatever you need, like, I'll be there for you. And our communities will work together, will collaborate together, and we're going to create incredible things to raise these, the vibration, to really become the greater versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
And this is how it starts for all of humanity. Like, we show by example, not by telling people what to do. Like, we show by example.
That's it.
That's
Like,
right on, man.
I mean, one of Mom's favorite sayings is, be your greatest, grandest version. Be love in action.
Yes.
Be love in
Yes.
simple service. Bliss. Be love in simple service.
Love it.
Asil, thank you so much for joining us. A special shout out to Crystal and Ruby for this opportunity of grand co-creation. We so honor you. We are so grateful. And until next time, thank you everyone for tuning in. We love you all.
Awesome.
So we sing a song.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can join us if you'd like.
Yes.
It's pretty easy.
It's the na 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 song.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Na 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 na
Na, na,
na.
na.
Hey, 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 love has won and joy reigns. Na 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 na, joy. Na 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 na, joy reigns. Hey, 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 love has won.
I love you
Love
all.
you.